Alright, what's up everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. As you see by the title, this is my dynamic effort squat day and deadlift day. And what I like to do on these days, it's basically all about trying to move the weight as fast as possible by doing a bunch of sub-maximal sets. I like to use accommodating resistance, although I have experimented without using accommodating resistance, and it does deliver a similar training effect. Because in this portion of the cycle, I just try and do as many sets as I can with as little rest as possible. Now for this 3-week cycle, I am using really whatever bar I want, but I'm using chains and wide stance to a box. I did about 15 sets of 2, and later in the sets, I can't remember what set, I actually removed about an inch from the box. So right here is about a 11 or 12 inch box, closer to 11, and then I removed my little rubber deadlift mat, whatever you want to call it, and I did the last, I want to say 5 or 6 sets to, as you see right here, to a 10 inch box I measured. And I find the wide stance is something I've neglected, and it's hard to do with a free squat because just because of like the balance and whatnot. So I find doing it to either a box or off pins is a much better way, or even a belt squat is a much better way to develop those muscles in the squat. I find the outer quads get smoked when you do a wide stance squat. So then I moved on to some speed deadlifts. I believe this is the last set, but for my speed deadlifts, I did 6 to 8 triples, I'm pretty sure, because the first 2 were kind of like warm-up speed sets. And I'm working on my wide stance, so sumo style. This is still kind of narrow, but I really don't pull sumo, so I figure I'll gradually move my stance outwards. This is about 90 some odd pounds of chain. I was going to go with 225 in the chain, but it was just way too light. So I'm doing double overhand here, not hook grip. And I was really sweaty, and I didn't use any chalk, and that's why these are kind of slow, because my grip was going. So then I just used some straps for the last couple of sets. And honestly, I could even go heavier here, because this even felt too light, to be honest. And I suck at sumo, so for these to be that easy means I probably should go heavier with my percentages here, specifically on the speed pulls for deadlifts. Then I moved into my assistance work. This is Glute Ham Raises with my makeshift Glute Ham Raise. And these are so hard. I can't even describe how hard these are. I try and keep my glutes flexed as much as I can, which does activate the hamstrings more. And sometimes you just can't. These are hard. I did, I believe, 4 sets of just as many as I can. I think it ended up being 10, 8, 8, 6. And I know when I hit failure, when I basically struggle to get back up, as you see, and I have to put my hands down to prevent myself from falling. It's a great piece of equipment. It's great for home gym users because you don't have to worry about some big piece of equipment with a giant footprint taking over. And on my speed days, I just try and, I'm just trying to build muscle after I do my speed work, because muscle basically equals strength. If you're getting stronger, it's because you've built more muscle. That's just my perfectly honest opinion. Then I moved into some grows with some fat grips. I've noticed my grip and my forearms have been really taking over, and I've noticed even after doing these, like the next day, like I wonder why my hands are sore, and it's really strengthening my grip, and it's giving me some good back stimulus as well. And then this is, I believe I did 4 sets of 10 of these, or 5 sets of 10 even, because I like to do higher volume stuff on my dynamic days as opposed to my max effort days. And then I finished off with some ab wheel, which I didn't film, and something called Ukrainian Deadlifts, which is basically just a deadlift variation using a heavy ass kettlebell, or in my case, my swing handle. Oh, and I forgot about these. I love high pulls. It's honestly like my favorite exercise. And before you say, oh, that's not a high pull like the Olympic, I'm not trying to do it for Olympic lifting purposes. I'm mainly trying to do it for upper back growth and a little bit of posterior chain, like throwing your hips forward and whatnot. So it's literally not being done for any sort of Olympic lifting. So that's why it does not look how you would think an Olympic lifter would do it. So this is the last video. I'll just let it run while I do my outro. So if you like this video, please click that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share the videos with your friends if you think they'll like them as well. And as always, class is dismissed.